Welcome to our program, Taking Care of Business. It is part of our worldwide Network for Success programming. Taking Care of Business will help you learn how successful managers and business owners manage their businesses, capitalize on opportunities, and overcome adversity. Our objective is to help you understand and apply their insights, then use your expertise in your own business or job so that you can become more successful. Taking Care of Business is sponsored by Consulting Task Force. CTF is a full-service consulting firm known for providing personalized end-to-end business building methods, as well as cost-saving tools and techniques focused on improving your business. CTF helps your business grow and prosper. Here's your host, Joe Camara.
Welcome to another edition of Taking Care of Business. I'm Joe Camara, the host for today's session. We're going to be talking with Chris Kurtz, marketing partner of Intrepid Web Marketing. And the title of our program today is Online Marketing, It's Easier Than You Think. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you.
Glad to see you're here.
Thanks, Joe.
If someone asks you about how to describe your business, what would you tell us in 25 words or less?
Okay, very simply what we do is make your marketing message, your advertising more prominent in search media, and the 800-pound gorilla there is Google.
I see. So let's say I'm interested in your services and I want to get started. What do I do first?
Well, you'd contact me and we would take a look at what you've got currently on the web for your web presence, and we'd evaluate that. If we thought it was sufficient, we'd leave it just the way it is and we'd promote it using marketing. If not, we'd develop something else and then we'd promote that using marketing.
Okay, so the term using marketing, why don't you explain more about what that means?
Okay, there's essentially two categories when you're talking about marketing. There's SEO, search engine optimization, and there's advertising like pay per click. So search engine optimization are the things that you do that make your website more attractive to Google when it looks for content based on a keyword search phrase. Okay, that's called SEO. Pay per click, the advertising part of it, is seen horizontally across the top on Google and vertically down the side. That's paid advertising, and it's positioned there. When you click on that, you're incurring a cost on an advertiser for that click.
And is there a range for the cost? I believe there's quite a big range of.
There is. Depending on what kind of click you're looking for, in what market, or I hate to use this phrase, but vertical, whatever market you're in, the cost per click will vary. It can be as much as hundreds of dollars for a click and as little as a quarter or less for a click, depending on what. If you're a personal injury attorney, those clicks can cost $60 or more, for example.
Really?
Yes.
Because somebody has an immediate need, I assume.
Someone would have an immediate need. They're very qualified. There's certain search phrases that they're looking for, so you kind of know what that customer is looking for based on that search phrase.
Okay. So let's
so
say
that click becomes valuable.
Let's say I'm interested in doing something like this, and I want to get started with this pay-per-click mechanism. And you've evaluated my website and said, okay, I understand this is what you want to promote. What are the steps involved? What do we do next?
Okay. Yeah, the first thing you'd want to do if you were doing an SEO campaign would be to clean up your website for Google search. There are things called meta tags, alt tags, and descriptions. Just things, we'll call it on the back end, the geeky programming stuff that makes Google say, hey, this site is relevant to this search phrase. So you clean it up first. Now, having done that, really your task then becomes one of SEM, search engine marketing, which comes down to developing content. Interesting content about your area of expertise. And you'd want to publish that in social media, on blogs, and places like Twitter and LinkedIn for a business-to-business customer, or on Facebook for a business-to-consumer customer.
Well, as you might have already guessed, I'm a little older than the average bear, probably. And so I'm a little bit behind the curve, let's say, on understanding the mechanisms to make all this work together. So I want to get started, right? We agree we're going to work together. And what do you require of me in order for me to manage this process? What do I have to do to make it work effectively on my end, or is that something you take care of completely?
We do a lot of the work. What we do initially is what you'd call keyword phrase research. So we find out what phrases your customers look for when they're looking on search engines like Google. So when they're looking for a marketing consultant, for example, they'll find your content, your website, your blog, your advertising, in the case of pay-per-click, horizontally across the top, vertically down the side, when they look for that phrase. So we'd, like I said, do the cleanup of your site based on that particular keyword phrase, maybe 2, 3, 4 more. And we'd clean up your site so that it matched that nicely for Google. We'd develop an advertising campaign in Google AdWords so that you could find your advertising horizontally across the top. I keep saying this, but vertically down the side, where you're always going to see those ads. Those are ads. And we'd essentially just match your message to that search. And that's a process that takes place over time. It doesn't happen right away because Google does, they spider your site, they spider the web. They have an algorithm that goes out and looks for content related to that search and ranks it. And it happens on some basis. And things get re-ranked based on how good Google thinks they are. And there's things you can do to hurt yourself there and help yourself there. But that's basically, in a nutshell, the process. It's not that difficult. It's just a matter of really developing content.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's easier than you think.
Yeah, good.
To the extent that that's all you really need to do, it is easier than you think. Now, getting it done is a job in and of itself because it really does require content people will be interested in about marketing consulting. Now, for someone like you, you'd want to tell stories about success. So why would I not do this in-house, or why would I not hire a marketing person full-time? Why would I contract with you? Well, here's why. It's because with about half of the budget that you're going to spend to employ someone full-time doing this, I can accomplish these marketing goals. And if we can agree that they're exactly what you look for in a marketing executive at your firm, then you can see that it really makes sense to do business with me.
Yeah, great. One of the key features of Google and other sites that you're paying for clicks is you get to test. Tell us a little bit about testing.
Okay. When you're talking about testing, most people talk about A/B testing, an iteration of a marketing message. What that entails, usually the context it's used in is with pay per click. Now this is the advertising side we're talking about. And again, as I've said numerous times, but I want to emphasize this. Horizontally across the top and vertically down the side, that's paid advertising. The stuff in the middle was just presented there because Google thought it was relevant. In other words, if your website's in that part, you didn't incur any additional cost in getting that click to your site. Okay, so we're just talking about the horizontal and the
paid stuff.
Okay, right, the paid stuff. There's tools within Google AdWords that allow you to very easily roll out campaigns that compete with each other for both relevance and conversion in Google pay-per-click. It's just A/B testing is a simple, jargony way of saying we're going to try it 2 different ways, and whichever one works better, we'll lose the one that worked not so well, and we'll focus on that one. And then off that one, we're going to develop another one, and we'll continually test until we're happy with the results. But you can never set it and forget it. That's a problem in the business of pay per click.
So let's say we test these 2 things and one works better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start talking with people and we find out that really there's maybe another couple of keywords we could use that are a variation of the first one. So we test those 2. And if the next one works better, the third one, let's say, then we go with the third one. And we keep doing that as we're building our success rate, would you say?
Well, usually, what you see, you mentioned keywords. Okay, so keywords are usually established pretty early on in the process, and they're set. Now, over time, you may find that Google suggests them. They'll throw them at you and say, okay, here'd be an interesting list, and you could take a look. Say, well, that one looks more like a shopping phrase. I want a buying phrase. Or that one looks more like a phrase of someone that I'm just really not interested in at all. It doesn't relate to me at all. But once that list is established, then you develop an ad of the keyword phrase. And the ads are what get iterated, not so much the keywords. So that would be, what you described is exactly correct. It's exactly the way it works. But you don't necessarily do it so much with the keywords. You do it more with the ad
I got it. Yeah.
that's associated with a keyword.
So tell us about the analytics. That's another term that people throw around. What you're doing is tracking
Really
the
cool.
results.
Yeah, it's a really cool, and again, when you attach jargon like analytics to it, it sounds complicated, but it's as simple as installing a line of code on the bottom of a particular page, and that page will identify behaviors to Google. So let's say that your page gets clicked. It'll identify that behavior. Let's say that there's a link on a page and that got clicked. It'll identify that behavior. And it'll track that behavior and put it in a report format so you can read, okay, well, this keyword phrase developed this click, and once they got there, they did this. So that's really what analytics allows. And analytics is a fancy way of saying I can track behavior. Analytics equals I can track behavior.
PBJ brings back the best children's shows for both kids and adults. Remember or experience for the first time the adventures of Lassie and her child companion, or the exploits of the Lone Ranger as he battles injustice in the West. Rediscover your childhood with cartoons like Fat Albert, He-Man, and the Masters of the Universe. Learn about marine life and the world's different occupations with shows like Aqua Kids Adventures and Real Life 101. All these shows and many more on PBJ, classic entertainment for kids.
Mystery Science Theater 3000 returns on Retro TV.
Ah, good old-fashioned nightmare fuel.
Is he always 100 years old?
That's my spice rack!
Whoops. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me clear the shot. What is this, a Bergman film?
I'm not getting smart.
I can't.
It's called Evil Kid.
The Bots are back. Saturday at 8 on Retro Television.
It stinks.
Taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. We be taking care of business.
Retro TV, your home for classic television. The greatest shows in history are here for you to enjoy. Join Cosby and Culp as secret agent men in I Spy. Ride along the Ponderosa with the Cartwrights in Bonanza. Hit the beat with Joe Friday in Dragnet. And that's not all. Retro TV offers endless fun and excitement for the whole family to enjoy. Retro TV, the best in classic television. Mystery Science Theater 3000 returns on Retro TV.
Ah, good old-fashioned nightmare fuel.
Is he always 100 years old?
That's my spice rack!
Whoops. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me clear the shot. What is this, a Bergman film?
I'm not getting smart.
I can't.
It's called Evil Kid.
The Bots are back. Saturday at 8 on Retro Television.
Tune in to Heartland for the best in true country music. Relive vintage specials, one-of-a-kind concerts, and country music's earliest videos. Heartland is the heart of country, the only place where you can find country music, country stars, and country lifestyles 24/7. Heartland, the heart of country.
So, unlike this TV program that we can't track, we don't really know anybody that has been watching it. It could be watched by 1 or 1,000 people and we wouldn't know it. Whereas with the system you're talking about, the beauty is you pretty much know how many people are observing or putting their eyeballs on your advertising.
Exactly.
And what they do next.
Yes, up until the point of purchase, you can do that. Like we're doing a campaign right now for a museum in San Francisco, and we built a landing page for them. So we have pay-per-click advertising that's geared specifically towards a specific event, and it hits the landing page, and there's only one thing you can do, and that's to buy tickets. So we know that they click the button to buy the ticket. We don't know until we look at what the actual sales statistics, where that transaction occurred. So that's kind of where the limit of pay-per-click.
But if you had an e-commerce site, I mean, wouldn't they
Yeah.
tell you?
Oh yeah. You'd know from the other side.
Yeah.
In other words, you'd have detailed analysis of that for
so
sure.
in our case, we want to create subscribers, and we're connected with PayPal. So we know that if somebody signs up to be a subscriber, they're going to give us a minimum amount of information, and they're going to connect their paying mechanism to PayPal's mechanism, And we'll get the statistics for PayPal because we'll know how many people sign up on Monday and Tuesday and
Right.
Wednesday and so on.
Even more than that, you'll know where they clicked from and what they clicked when they got to your page.
Right, right. So unlike the advertising we were talking about that you don't know what's happening, this is a pretty powerful tool, is it not?
It is. And if we were to take this presentation and put it on YouTube and it had a link, a URL associated with it, we could take that URL and we could track how many times it was, we could put it in one of our web pages and have a link in there that went to that URL. We'd know how many times people went to see our video.
Well, we are on YouTube, and what we suggest to people is that they ask us for the link, because we'd like to know that how many people are watching or listening. This is one way of our tracking the viewers. Now, obviously, we don't know all the viewers, because not everybody's going to want that URL.
Some people don't want to share.
Right.
And that's okay. That's fine. You can still get the information in most cases.
Right, right. So, so you're suggesting beyond what we're doing with the mechanism I just described, you can create a system so that if somebody watches your YouTube presentation, then you know.
Right, you're right. It's hard to track the watching of television, and we both know that there's ways to do that. There's services out there that track Nielsen, Arbitron, that kind of thing, and they're very good. With this, it takes a lot of that away because you know specifically where they came from in terms of the keyword phrase market, how they looked for you. Then once they found you, what page they went to. Then once they found that page, they saw the link to our video and they clicked it. So we know they did that. Once they go to YouTube, you got to assume they watched some of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great. Well, this is exactly what I was hoping we would do during this presentation, so that's great. So let's take a step back. How did you get started in this business? What drove you to want to do this?
In about 2002, I decided I was going to go out on my own, and I was working as a business-to-business lead generator. And I was using the phone to do it. So I had a website. It was called outsourceyoursalesforce.com. So people who would, as opposed to hiring a full-time salesperson, they would hire me to do phone banging, just bang the phone. And I could generate leads, and I could do that. But what I discovered along the way was I was really good at promoting my website. It kind of fell out of that. I wrote content that was optimized for search, just content that was really related to telemarketing and being successful in telemarketing. I designed a process that was a little different, but it was kind of common sense too, just in terms of the way I executed the work was very conversational. And I did that for about 7 years, and I came out of it thinking, I really wish when I had started that I had built my business instead of based on telemarketing, based on online marketing. Because online marketing is much more gratifying. As opposed to reaching out, it's necessary to reach out, by the way, but as opposed to reaching out and starting at kind of a lower level with your prospect, you're on a much more even plane when your lead comes into you. Right. You ask me for advice, you ask me for help, so.
Yeah. Well, and so for anybody that's watching, if they think that what we're doing is interesting, might be for their business, let's say they're in the financial end of business and they provide consulting advice, or they're attorneys, tax season's going to be coming up pretty soon. This is what we're looking for. So if people are calling us as a result of watching this program, we're interested in that, as well as doing the outbound type of stuff you were talking about,
Definitely.
either telemarketing or web.
It's something we do now, but we would only do it associated with an email marketing campaign. So in other words, we're conducting a campaign that develops an email address and a phone number by exchange of some information. Like, we're really big on landing pages. So someone goes to our pay-per-click campaign looking for landing page development or landing page companies. They find our landing page. We say, hey, landing pages really are great. As opposed to leaping off together right now, let's do this. Here is a great resource about landing pages written by Ollie Gardner of Unbounce, who's the authority on landing pages. The guy knows everything. So we're going to give you that. Ollie loves that we're giving his book away.
Sure.
We're going to get your email address and your phone number, and we'll give you a call. Make sure you got it. What are you thinking? Are you going to do your own landing pages? Is it practical? Do you want to? If you don't and it's not practical, then you'll contract with us. if you want to, then we have a collegial relationship. We can kind of bounce things off each other. It's a new relationship. You never know where that's going to go.
Right. Okay, so again, for viewers, maybe they're up to speed, maybe they're not, but let's say they don't really have a good feel for what a landing page is. It's a website, single maybe page website.
It's absolutely, you're right. This is where pay-per-click fails. This is where the advertising always fails. In other words, people can stuff as much money into that pipeline and get as much traffic as they want. If it's not going to, if that click doesn't go to somewhere where the searcher doesn't find something absolutely relevant and interesting, they're going to navigate away. They're going to bounce. That's why unbounce is called unbounce. They're not going to bounce away from that. They're going to click through. They're going to click. They're going to go somewhere. They're going to get an email, or excuse me, they're going to get your information and give you an email, or they'll conduct a transaction. So you've got your pay-per-click campaign. It's geared towards marketing consulting. Then, as opposed to sending that click that you got from that search, from your pay-per-click campaign, as opposed to sending that click looking for a marketing consultant to your homepage, which has got all the information about everything, we go to a page it's one page. It's at marketingconsultant.com. Looks very, very like what I was looking for. On the heading it says, Marketing Consultants Work, and here's why. And here's more about me. And then maybe you at that point would ask for an email address and a phone number. After you've got them comfortable with it, that you are, and here's what it can do. You give them a little bit to look at, not too much, and give them one recourse. Exchange information for email right now, because that's all you're going to do. You're not going to buy. You're not going to purchase a consulting contract.
Oh, right.
With a click after seeing a landing page.
Right.
But you will let me share some information with you.
Yeah.
You will let me do that. So we'll exchange information. You'll give me your email address and your phone number. I'll give you an interesting white paper, a case study, and I'll thereby. What I'm doing is building an email marketing list.
Right.
Email marketing.
Right. Well, and I just, so again, if someone wants to visit our site as a result of watching, they can do that, and that's exactly the way we've designed our site, is to have the free part of the site, which is like most homepages, plus the additional information somebody might be looking for. And then we have a subscribe hurdle. Actually, it's membership. Subscribe is a third part. The membership is a free membership. You just click on it, you get additional information. The subscribe part gets the opportunity to get some free coaching or some free ideas from us, and attending some of what we call our executive briefings. So we're trying to stimulate interest in the same way that your landing page does, except yours is at the landing page is at the beginning, and we're already migrating past that. So if we want to use this tool, we're going to create a landing page that gets somebody to go to our content and say, here's the free content. These are some ideas you're going to get from us.
There's essentially two things you can do with the landing page. Number one, you can get a lead. That campaign I was talking about where you exchange a piece of information, that's a lead generator. That generates leads. Or you can, too, soften the beachhead at that point of interest, which would amount to having them go through back to a point in your site where you wanted them to go to, where they were prepped for, but where all of these campaigns fail, where it doesn't work is when the landing page isn't relevant to the search.
Okay, so if somebody's interested in your services and they want to contact you, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Best way to get in touch with me is via phone.
And the number?
716-861-5584. I love phone calls.
Might as well say it again.
716-861-5584.
Great. And I assume you have a web page.
We
so
do.
Why don't you tell us what the URL is?
Very simply, it's www.intrepid-web.com.
Okay, say it again.
www.intrepid-web.com.
And one of the key things we try to ask every interviewee is, okay, somebody's interested, they're going to give you a call. How can they get the maximum benefit from the minimum investment that they need to make in your initial contacts or your developing working relationship with them?
I guess just have a really clear idea of what marketing message that you want to get out there, what property that you want to promote. We really do help with all the rest. You don't need to bring a lot to the table, I guess is what I'm saying.
Okay, so I know I want to promote the fact that people should be on TV and get a good exposure. So I know what I want to do. Then what? Do you start creating landing pages? Do you look for keywords next? What do you do next?
We do keyword research. And then we identify phrases that equal both interest and purchase behaviors.
And you can get an idea what those cost, so somebody can develop a budget.
Well, we get an idea of what they are, and then we decide what we're going to do, because we can do two things. We can either develop marketing that we could develop a mini site that's SEO, or we could do the quick hit. The quick hit is where you're going to develop an AdWords campaign and a landing page. You can do a landing page in a day. So over time, you'd want to develop content and marketing around your favorite keyword phrases. So keyword research is number one. After you know your favorite keyword phrases, you develop content. So over time, you get more prominence on Google. But for a quick hit right away, you can get leads just by doing a simple AdWords campaign combined with a landing page that focuses on the same. Yep.
Chris, it's been a pleasure. I think you've been very informative, and hopefully you get some phone calls from our viewers and our listeners. Yeah, that's great. And we appreciate you joining us. If you're looking to contact us and you missed Chris's contact information, you should be knowing that the slide on the screen will enable you to contact us. Just give us a call and we'll put you in touch with Chris. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Welcome to Cozy TV, the newest member of the NBC Universal family, a new network designed by broadcasters for broadcasters.
Aloha!
Look at me!
Here you are, Charlie.
Already launching in the top markets, including New York, LA, and Chicago. Cozy TV will bring back some of the greatest shows in history and bring home the ratings. Sit back and relax during the week with a $6 million man, Dr. Marcus Welby, Charlie's Angels.
But to work for a man you've never laid eyes on, it seems so impersonal.
Highway to Heaven, The Bionic Woman, Magnum PI.
Well, I just want you to know that I'll be thinking what a wonderful guy you are the whole time I'm swimming.
Plus hit movies.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
And preemptions featuring local windows, specially created for broadcasters to showcase local programming, sports, or news.
So did you hear my cell phone go off earlier, Janet?
Was that your cell phone?
Then on weekends, Cozy TV in its prime is all about living life to the fullest, broadening your viewership with exclusive originals.
So let the fun begin.
The celebrity butts that have graced the stew. This is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
She is dull. Whether you're buying, selling, redesigning, or just dreaming, we've got you covered.
Welcome to our home. Let's check it out.
And that's just the beginning.
Now, our bachelors have started cooking for our bachelorette. What excuse have you made up to get out of a date?
I have to wash my hair. Oh my goodness.
The past and present have come together with Cozy TV. It's the easiest decision you'll make all day.
PBJ brings back the best children's shows for both kids and adults. Remember or experience for the first time the adventures of Lassie and her child companion, or the exploits of the Lone Ranger as he battles injustice in the West. Rediscover your childhood with cartoons like Fat Albert, He-Man, and the Masters of the Universe. Learn about marine life and the world's different occupations with shows like Aqua Kids Adventures and Real Life 101. All these shows and many more on PBJ, Classic Entertainment for Kids.